First of all, I welcome all of you to join us for ICAEW case study, and we are going to discuss this case study for July 2021. That is going to be our new attempt in 2021, basically. So our this class, our this orientation is particularly focusing on ICAEW case study July 2021. So let's move forward. What we are going to discuss, these are basically the contents for our today's discussion. First of all, we will be discussing the no pass no fee model. So what do you mean by no pass no fee model? Then we will be discussing having a brief my profile, that is tutor's profile. Then we will be having the introduction of case study exam. What do you mean by case study? What are the different components of your case study exam? Moving forward, what is the exam structure of case study basically, and how this case study exam structure is different from the corporate reporting and strategic business management exam, because case study is entirely a new exam. So what's the new exam structure? Then we will be talking about the advanced information. So what is the advanced information? What information is being contained, and how this advanced information is being used, and how you should use. That's the most important question in your case study exam, basically. Another reason is basically why students fail, because case study is a simple exam. Case study is not a technical exam, it's a skill-based exam. So what's the reason? What are the major problems? What are the major drawbacks why students are going to fail in this exam? Then we will be discussing some of our results and how we are going to study basically. So what will be our approach and how we are going to study. And then lastly, there will be a question answer session as well. I will be taking questions from all of you, and then we will be replying to questions one by one basically. So these are all contents for our today's discussion. Apart from this content, if there will be any query, any other point that you need help, definitely I will be happy to assist you people basically. So first of all, we will be discussing the no pass, no fee model. So what do you mean by no pass, no fee model? Normally, if you study with a tuition provider, if you study with someone, hopefully you are going to pass. But unfortunately, if you are going to fail, then what they do basically, they charge a retake fee basically. And this retake fee varies basically, it might be 50% of your original fee, or it might be some other amount. So it means, in short, you have to pay some of the amount as a part of retake if unfortunately you are going to fail. But what we have introduced from this attempt, we have introduced the no pass, no fee model. So it means if you are going to study with us and if you are going to comply with terms and conditions of no pass, no fee model, then hopefully you are going to pass. But if unfortunately, if you are not going to pass, then in next attempt, you are going to study free of cost. That will be free of cost. There will be no retake fee, and entire exam will be free of cost basically. So that is our no pass no fee model. But obviously for no pass no fee model, we have some conditions, we have some terms, and this will be discussed later on as well. So this is no pass no fee model, and this is applicable for case study, corporate reporting, and for our SBM exam as well. This is my brief profile, and I am Numan Yakat, your tutor. I am ACA, ICAW member, ACCA member. Apart from that, I am a PIFA member as well. I have approximately more than 7+ years of teaching experience and more than 5+ years of industry experience. I have worked in different telecommunication companies, in FMCG sector, and different groups in accounts, finance, and audit positions as well. I am teaching at various online forums, and I am also working at approved learning partners as well. Apart from that, I am also a university lecturer. I am also an Oxford Brooks mentor. I hope the people who are coming through ACCA route, they will be very much aware what do you mean by Oxford Brooks. So I am also an Oxford Brooks mentor, and I also hold business finance professional certification from UK. So this is a brief profile about myself. So why I am discussing this profile? Because most of the time students are much concerned about the person to whom which they are studying. So that's why I just shared my brief profile with you people. So first of all, let's discuss about the introduction of case study basically. So if we talk about the case study, then case study is basically a unique exam. So what do you mean by unique exam? Unique exam mean, if you talk about the rest of the 14 exams of ICAW, then either you talk about your accounting side, you discuss about the auditing, either it is tax, it is business strategy, it is financial management, to somehow it involves the technical knowledge basically. But case study is entirely a unique exam. There is no technical knowledge. It means we will not studying about the accounting, auditing, taxation, business strategy, financial management. There will be no technical knowledge, no technical knowledge in our case study exam. Case study is entirely a skills based exam basically. So in this exam your skills are going to be tested, so how good you are as a part of professional basically. So it's basically our skill based exam. So in skills based exam there are different types of skill, and later on we are going to discuss what type of skill you need and you must need to pass your case study exam basically. In case study exam basically we have to write a report. It is called a report writing exam, and we have to write a report. This report might be to BOD, that is board of directors. This report might be for a client. This report might be for a partner. So it basically depends on our exams requirement, so to whom we have to address basically. In case study we also need the advanced information. So what's the story of advanced information? Normally some people say, like, if it's a case study exam it is just like thesis and we have to submit our thesis. No, this is a wrong concept. It is basically like an exam. So what is the, for example, if you go to a meeting, then definitely before meeting you have some agenda as well. So in the same way, ICAEW approximately 6 weeks before exam releases some of the information, and this is called as advanced information because it is released approximately 6 weeks before exam. So it's called as advanced information. And in this advanced information, there is a lot of information, and later on today, we are going to discuss about the contents of advanced information. And then we will be discussing about the exam requirements. What are the exam requirements for case study? How many questions will be there? And what are our exam requirements? And lastly, we will be talking about the ethical issues, basically, because we know that ethics are not only important in 1 or 2 exams. In fact, ethics are most important for all 15 exams of ICAEW. Either you talk about certificate level, professional level, advanced level, or even a case study, ethics are most important part of our exam basically, and they can be tested in any of the 15 exams as well. So that's a brief introduction. Our first slide for case study. It means there is no technical knowledge. It is a skill-based exam, and due to our skills, we have to write a report according to different exam requirements. So let's talk about the exam structure of ICAEW case study. If we talk about the exam structure of ICAEW case study, then in case study, we have only one question. There will be only one question, and this question will be of 100 marks basically. So for 100 marks, there will be a one question. But in one question, there will be different requirements as well. And what will be the requirements? And there will be 3 different requirements. Requirement 1, requirement 2, and requirement 3 basically. So 3 different requirements, 100 marks, one question. So let's talk about the individual requirement. So in requirement number 1, you have to perform the financial analysis basically. So what do you mean by financial analysis? In financial analysis, there will be income statement, there will be balance sheet, there will be cash flow statement, and there will be some brief notes to the financial statements as well. So what we have to do, we have to perform the analysis, and recording analysis examiner is going to tell us what we have to do basically. For example, our requirement might be for revenue, it might be for gross profit, it might be for operating profit, it might be for profit for the year. So it depends basically on examiner. So what type of financial analysis do we need to perform? Because it's an exam, time will be limited. So we do not need to perform a very, very detailed analysis on our complete income statement or balance sheet or cash flow or any other component. We are just focused on our exam requirement. What is the requirement of our examiner basically? Either it's about revenue, it's about gross profit, operating profit, profit for the year, or it could be any other requirement as well. It could be any other requirement. That's a brief introduction of our requirement number one. That is basically about financial analysis. Basically, we have to make sure we have to make numbers to talk basically. So we have to write a report in a very good format about financial analysis. Second thing is basically we have to prepare an appendix. In appendix, what we are going to do, we are going to mention about changes, how much revenue or profit or expenses are increasing or decreasing basically. So what's the situation and why one number is increasing or decreasing basically. Apart from that, there might be a twist. What do you mean by twist? Twist means there could be some sort of a different requirement. For example, we might need to discuss about receivable issues. We might have to discuss about inventory issue, provisions, or some other point as well. So twist is something different. That is something unusual. It could be, that's why it is called as a twist. Second thing is basically that is requirement number two. So in requirement two, that is second requirement, we have to perform financial data analysis. Some people confuse these two terms. They say financial analysis and financial data analysis are same thing. No, these are not same thing. Financial analysis is basically being performed on our financial statement. In financial data analysis, there will be some sort of data, and along with this data there will be some assumptions as well, and with the help of this data and with the help of these assumptions we have to perform the analysis. We have to build some numbers and we have to prepare some sort of analysis, and this is called as financial data analysis. For example, let me give you a very simple example. Let's say there are 2 years, that is 2019 and that is 2020, and let's say you are a company which deal in books, and let's say the price of one book was, let's say, the 10 pound and it was 9 pound. That is price of one book, and let's say you have sold 10,000 books here in 2020, and let's say it was 9,500 books in 2019. So what you are doing basically, now you are considering, what you are considering is basically you have to increase the price from 10 to, let's say, 12 pound, and you are thinking you will increase the price from 10 pound to 12 pound, and you are also considering your sales are going to be increased by, let's say, your sales will be 12,000 books basically. So you are increasing the price by 2 pound, and you are also assuming your sales are going to be increased by 2,000 books. So do you think it is possible? Is it a reasonable approach? You are increasing the price, you are also assuming your quantity is going to increase, your numbers are going to increase. So is there any evidence? So what about market? What about competitors? How industry is going to perform basically? What will be the economic condition? And how do you think your sales are going to increase? Are there some new customers? Are you are going to launch some new versions, some new books? Are there some new contracts? So what's the reason why your sales are going to be increased basically? And most importantly, how you are going to justify your increase in price basically? Because normally customers are not very good. Customers resist for increase in price. So how do you think both of these assumptions are going to support you? This is basically about, that's a brief discussion about data. That's a brief discussion about assumption. So here we have to look at the assumption. Our assumptions are basically reasonable or they are not reasonable basically. So we have to perform analysis, we have to build some numbers, and also after this we have to perform a discussion here as well. So we have to discuss about this assumption, either these assumptions seem reasonable or they are not reasonable as well. So in financial analysis we will discuss from our previous history. In financial data analysis we will talk about our some sort of future plans, some future operations, some numbers with the help of some data and some assumptions as well. This is called as financial data analysis. Financial data analysis could be of various forms. For example, we might need to perform the break-even analysis. It might be sensitivity analysis. It might be PE ratio. It might be accounting rate of return. It could involve various forms as well. Again, like requirement one, also we need to prepare a brief appendix because it involves the calculation. So we have to make sure we are very good with our report writing and we present our work in a very good way in front of examiner in the form of appendix as well. Again, it might involve some sort of twist. So that was basically about requirement 2, that is financial data analysis as well. Now let's talk about the requirement 3. Requirement 3 is basically about business analysis. So what do you mean by business analysis here? For example, let's say you have a company just like company A, and your company has branches in 2 different countries. For example, you have one branch in Gulf countries and you have second branch, you have operations in UK as well. Now you are considering, apart from these 2 branches, you should also move into another market, that is US market as well. So you are considering you have to move in US market as well. So that's another market, that's another point. So what you have to do, you have to perform another analysis. This is called as business analysis as well. And in business analysis, we may need to apply different models, just like some sort of Pestel model, SWOT model, Porter 5 forces. Apart from that, there could be some other models as well. But we have to use the points of our model. We do not directly need to mention the name of model here as well. So again, there are some tips, and there are some techniques, what you need to do and how you have to write your business analysis and your entire report. And this will be discussed in our detailed sessions as well. Apart from business analysis, sometimes examiner involves a brief calculation in requirement 3. Sometimes it does not involve a brief calculation. So it depends on examiner, how examiner is going to set out our exam basically. So this page was basically about the exam structure of case study. Let's summarize this page. There are 3 different requirements. There will be 1 question, but it will involve 3 different requirements. Question requirement 1, requirement 2, and requirement 3. And most importantly, it is compulsory. It is compulsory to pass all requirements basically. For example, if you have obtained 90% of marks in requirement 1, 90% of marks in requirement 2, but unfortunately 48% marks in requirement 3, unfortunately you are going to fail, because it is compulsory to pass all requirements of your case study. Requirement 1, requirement 2, and requirement 3 basically. So you have to be very, very smart while you are going for case study, because in corporate reporting, SBM, or rest of the exams of ICW, this was not the requirement. But in case study, so we have this requirement and we have to make sure we are complying with this examiner's requirement as well. Now let's talk about the advanced information, because in our contents we talked about the advanced information. So what do you mean by advanced information basically? As I told you, advanced information, this is a sort of information that is approximately 6 weeks before exam. Approximately 6 weeks before your exam basically. And this advanced information is approximately 40 to 50 pages. Approximately, it might vary, but approximately it is 40 to 50 page document. And in this document, there will be a lot of detail. For example, here there will be a detail about industry. For example, in your exam, it might be a juice industry, it might be a books industry, it might be some sort of hairdresser. It might be, for example, it might be your fast food industry. So it could involve any industry as well. For example, it might be your bicycle industry, it might be your some sort of pest industry. So there are a lot of industries that are being tested by examiner in last few years. So it could be any industry and it could be any company as well. So examiner is going to discuss, examiner is going to a detailed overview for our industry and for our company as well. Then there will be some management accounts as well, and the examiner is going to give us 3 years of management accounts, and we have to analyze these management accounts for last 3 years that is being given by the examiner in our exam. So we can identify some sort of trend. So what is going on? Either revenue is increasing or it is decreasing. If it is increasing or decreasing, so what are the major reasons? What are the major forces for its increase or decrease basically? Apart from this, there will be some sort of key assumptions as well, like we have to perform financial data analysis. So there might be some assumptions as well, like either your selling price is going to increase, it is going to decrease, what is about your demand. Either your demand is going to increase or it is going to decrease as well. Then there will be some information about suppliers, about customers of business. Who are your suppliers? Who are your customers? How many suppliers are there? How many customers are there? Either you are going to make sales as a part of retail, or it will be a wholesale business. What it will be, there will be a complete detail about your suppliers and about your customers as well. Apart from this, there will be a detail about business model. Like there might be detail about business operation. It might involve detail about your some sort of business strategies. What could be your future strategies as well? So what you think, basically, either you have to expand, either you have to expand organically, you have to expand inorganically, either you want to start some sort of new operation, or you want to expand your previous business. So what you want to do, there will be a detail about business model. Then there will be some sort of articles as well. And again, there will be some sort of news article and some other articles as well. For example, if there is industry just like that is being involved in manufacturing, again, there could be a news. For example, if you are a soft drink company, so they will be concerned about your content of soft drink. For example, it will involve the sugar. So on one hand, you are using sugar in your soft drink, but on second hand, on second point, there will be concern about the sugar as well. For example, sugar is not comfortable, is not beneficial for all of us. Excess amount of sugar is not beneficial. Sugar, soft drinks are not a good way for older people. They are not good for young age people as well. So there will be some health concern about sugar content as well. So in news article and some other articles, there will be a lot of information that we have to use, and we have to use all of this information while we are evaluating our data and we are discussing about our business strategies and business models as well. There will be ethical issues as well. Yes, there might be some ethical issues. For example, sugar content. Let's say, if we assume, let's say if it is discussed like we have to use 1 gm of sugar, but if soft drink companies are going to use more than 1 gm sugar, that's mean there is a breach of ethics, there is a breach of rules and regulations as well. So there might be some sort of concern, and these are called as ethical concerns as well. Ethics are basically ways of doing, either it is right or it is wrong basically. So we have to identify our ethical issues and our ethical problems and ethical areas. Apart from this, it might involve some other useful information. Again, it might be about your business, it might be about your any other information as well. So this was a brief discussion about our advanced information. Like, what do you mean by advanced information, and what information will be given to you in your exam basically. Now let's discuss, this is one of the most important, why students are going to fail in your case study exam basically. Because this exam involves just your skill. There are no technical knowledge, no corporate reporting, no taxation, no financial management, no business strategy. So why students are going to fail in this exam? There are a lot of reasons, and I have discussed these reasons. But first of all, I have highlighted with the help of red color. So what do you mean by red color? In red color, these are the reasons that are the most important, and these are the reasons why students are going to fail most of the time due to this reason. First of all, time management. In fact, you should mention that's a poor time management. If you are poor, if you talk about case study, then case study is a 4 hours exam. When we mention that it's a 4 exam, then students are quite happy. That's a huge amount of time, because normally our exams are for 2.5 hours or 3 hours or 3.5 hours. It basically depends in which exam you are appearing. If we talk about only advanced level exam, then advanced level exams are for 3.5 hours exam. But case study is a unique exam, so that's why we have 4 hours of time. So students are quite happy that they will be getting a lot of time, but believe me, for these 4 hours are not enough, because you have to perform a lot of work here as well. and we will discuss what work you have to perform here. So if you are poor at your time management, then unfortunately you are going to suffer, because we earlier discussed, like you have to pass all of your requirement 1, requirement 2, and requirement 3 basically. So if you are done with requirement 1 and requirement 2, but you are at requirement 3, and if your time ups, then what you have to do, it means your requirement 3 is not complete, and probably you are not going to pass your exam. So you have to be very, very smart, you have to be very, very active, and you have to stick to time very carefully. Then there are some exam techniques. So if there are some poor exam technique that you are going to use, for example, as we discussed, you have to write a report, and if you are writing two lengthy sentences, or if you are writing sentences, these are not of appropriate length, it might be too short, it might be too long, so it means that you might have to suffer. So you have to be very, very smart with your time management, with your exam technique. If you are smart, if you are good with your time management and exam technique, it means you are going to balance out your exam. Balancing the exam means you have to be good with your requirement 1, requirement 2, and requirement 3. If your exam is not balanced, then unfortunately result may not be in your favorable position. And mostly, approximately more than 90% of students fail due to requirement 3. Why they fail due to requirement 3? Because they think they are very good in your requirement 1 analysis and in requirement 2 analysis. So when they jump to requirement 3, then there is a very less amount of time. So if there is a less amount of time on requirement 3, then definitely you are going to write your requirement 3 in a very quicker way. So if you are going to write in a very quicker way, then it means you are going to sacrifice quality of your exam. So if you are sacrificing the quality, if you are forgetting some of the points, if you are mentioning point that might not be appropriate, might not be suitable for your exam, so it means unfortunately you are going to fail. So you have to very, very careful what you write, how much time you have for each requirement, and you should plan out how much time you should spend on requirement 1, requirement 2, and requirement 3 basically. So we will be having our workshop, our discussion on requirements as well, and our time plan. Apart from this red box, there are some other requirements and some other problems as well. For example, poor analysis, not addressing the examiner's key basically. So you have to be very, very good about your analysis. For example, examiner asks about the gross profit or gross profit margin basically. So you have to discuss about sales, your sales mix, your cost of sale, what's the proportion of sale, or how much proportion of cost of sale, and there will be a lot of points as well. And you can mention point with the help of your analysis, with the help of data, how much data is being provided to you. So you have to use your data. Normally what the students do, they just mention like your revenue has increased by, let's say, 5%, or it has decreased by 5%, that's why your gross profit has increased or decreased. This is not appropriate, because anyone can tell us with the help of numbers either your revenue or gross profit is increasing or decreasing. You are a chartered accountant. This is a final exam before you qualify as an ICAEW. So it means examiner expects a good analysis, a quality analysis form of chartered accountant student as well. So you will be a final year trainee, a final student appearing in final exam of ICAEW. So you have to be very, very good. You have to make the numbers track. You have to discuss about revenue. It's revenue mix. Why one component of revenue is increasing, why other one are decreasing, what's happening out in the industry, how you are performing, how your competitors are performing, what about cost of sale. For example, your labor cost might have increased, but your production cost might have decreased, your overheads might have increased, or any other thing. I am just mentioning some of the reasons as well. Exact reasons can be mentioned when we see our advanced information. So you have to make sure that you perform a good quality analysis and a very concise analysis as well. Not understanding the examiners, yes, because as I told you, case study is a unique exam. It's a 4-hour exam. We have to write a report. There is just one question, 3 different requirements, and you have to balance out your exam. So it's most important, and examiner's key is entirely different for our case study. So we have to understand the examiner key, we have to understand the marking key, what points are going to make us pass and what points are going to make us fail in our exam. So we have to be very, very careful with our examiner's key as well. There might be some sort of coherence concern. What do you mean by coherence concern and writing expression? Because it's a report writing exam, so sometimes it's quite possible you are going to discuss your points, you are having your analysis, but your points are not going to be linked out. So you have to make sure your points are being linked out as well, like your sales, your cost of sale, your overhead. So try to link up your points as much as you can. You have to be very good with your writing expressions as well. Apart from that, there might be a problem with your lack of practice, like you think it's a simple exam, there will be 4 hours time, so you might not go to detailed practice, but that's a very, very bad thing. You should go with detailed practice as well. Then you should address your requirement very carefully. Normally, because students think it's an advanced information and there are a lot of hints in advanced information, so they think there will be a requirement of this type. No, you should not predict what will be the requirement. Requirement could be anyone, but so you have to be smart, you have to stick to requirement, you have to answer the requirement what is being asked by the examiner. So you should not assume like this requirement will be of this type and I will write this type of answer. You can have some sort of planning, you can have some sort of point, but you should not pre-predict, you should not pre-plan about the requirement. And lastly, there is a executive summary. As we know, there will be 3 requirements: requirement 1, requirement 2, and requirement 3. So we have to write detail about requirement 1, 2, and 3, and we also need to write an executive summary. And executive summary is going to be written out for our each of the requirement 1, requirement 2, and requirement 3. So it means there is going to be a lot of work. We have to perform a detailed working, we have to write a report, and in this report we will write about each requirement and about each requirement executive summary. So we have to manage our time very, very carefully, so we complete each part, each portion within our due time as well. Now let's discuss how we are going to study, because there are a lot of problems, lot of issues as well. So how we are going to study in our exam basically, and how we will study for our this session. I have divided these into various areas. First of all, we will be having our understanding of case study, because it is very important to understand what do you mean by case study and what are the different components of case study. You have to understand about requirement 1, requirement 2, and requirement 3 basically. So what you need to perform, what you need to write in your each requirement and into your executive summaries as well. This is most important. You should understand your case study, their requirements, what are the exam plans, how you should manage your time. This is all about our study session. And in this study session, because our advanced information for July 2021 will be released in June, approximately in second week of June, it will be released. But now it's approximately end of March. So what we are going to do from here till release of advanced information, we are going to practice our previous case studies basically. For example, we will be taking up case studies of 2019, 20, and 2019. And if time allows, then we can have more and more case studies as well. So approximately for last 2 years, we are going to practice our previous case studies. We will be having our session for reading the advanced information. Then we will be solving the previous past papers, previous case studies of 2020 and 2019 as well. Because previous case studies will give us a lot of idea how we have to read our advanced information, how we have to structure our answer for requirement 1, requirement 2, requirement 3, and for executive summary as well. Some students think like they have to start from a new case, but when case is released in June, mid of June approximately, so you have 6 weeks. So you have to prepare your advanced information, you have to understand the structure of exam, case study, marking key, mock exam, practice. So it is going to be a lot of work here as well. So if you understand case study, what do you mean by case study, how you have to read your advanced information, what is the marking key, how you have to write your answer, different requirements, executive summary. So it will be much easier for you just to focus on 2021 advanced information and on its case as well. We will be also discussing about the report structure. Yes, because we are writing a report for our board of directors. We are writing a report for our higher level management. It might involve some sort of partner, it might be some sort of client. So we have to be very, very professional. We have to follow a format, we have to follow a structure, what language we have to use. So we have to be very, very careful. Time management, because normally students fail due to poor time management. So we will be having our session on time management, how we have to manage our time, how much time should be dedicated for each requirement, for executive summary, what sentences you have to use. Then marking key basically. So what do you mean by marking key? For example, as I discussed, we will be having our previous cases of 2020 and 2019 as well. We will be discussing these case studies and also discussing the marking key of examiner basically. So what was the marking key of examiner? What points do we need to mention in our case study just to make sure we get some good grades as well? There are some exam skills and exam grades as well. In exam, there are different types of skill. Normally, we classify them into 4 different skills as well. For example, it is called as A and UI, SP and S, AJ, C and R as well. A and UI mean assimilating and using information. SP and S structuring problems and solution. AJ applying judgment. C and R mean conclusion and recommendations as well. In A and UI, these are some sort of basic skills we have to identify. We have to pick up data from advanced information and exam paper. SP and S structuring problem and solution, we have to go a little bit detail. This is called as SP and S. In AJ, AJ marks, applying judgment marks are most difficult, are most challenging. And unfortunately, most of students lack in AJ marks as well. AJ means applying judgment. We have to apply our judgment. We have to maintain professional skepticism basically. And then finally, there will be C and R. C and R means C stands for conclusion and R stands for recommendation as well. So at last, we have to provide some sort of conclusion, and we also need to discuss about some sort of recommendations as well. So what are our recommendations? So there are different types of skills, 4 different skills, and we will also learn about these 4 different skills and how we can build up these skills for July 2021 exam. Apart from that, there are some exam grades, and there are various exam grades. For example, it might involve CC, it might involve SC, IC, it might be your ID, or it might be an ESA. So what do you mean by exam grades and how you have to make sure that you get a very, very good grade as well? Because your grades of CC and SC fall into a very good area. And if you get CC and SC grades, then you are going to pass out your exam. So how many grades do you need to pass out your exam? We will discuss all of these areas about marking key, exam skills, and exam grades in our detailed case study course. There is another problem, and we have a solution. For example, normally students say we were very good at requirement 1 and requirement 2, but unfortunately we were not able to maintain, we were not able to make sure our time was good for requirements. So if your time is running out, so what you need to do basically? So what you have to do, if your time is running out, we will discuss it too. If your time is running out, unfortunately, if you are stuck at some point of your exam, so what you have to do, you have to adopt a smart strategy just to make sure that you pass out your exam as well. Apart from this, we will also be focusing on our professional skills, because it's a report writing exam. We have to write out report for board of directors, for our senior management. So we need to build our professional skills as well. We have to write out our executive summary. We have to write out our exam. So we have to balance our exam paper, balancing requirements and balancing the executive summary as well. Exam vocabulary. So what vocabulary do we need to use? What words do we need to use? just to make sure that we get some sort of good grades as well. Then for July 2021 advanced information, first of all, as I told you earlier, from end of this March till release of advanced information, we will be focusing on case study, and we will also be focusing on 2020 and 2019 case studies. Once advanced information is being released, so we will be focusing on July 2021 advanced information. First of all, we will be having analysis of 2021 advanced information. I will be reviewing the advanced information, and we will be having a lot of sessions for analyzing the advanced information. I will be analyzing the advanced information. Students will also be analyzing the advanced information, and we will discuss this analysis in our sessions as well. Once we think we are ready for advanced information analysis, we are done. So then we will be moving on mock exam, and there will be at least 2 to 3 mock exams for 2021 advanced information level. And these mock exam will give us a good idea just to make sure that we are practicing for our new case as well. So it will be a practice session as well. It will give us a lot of good points. It will give us a lot of confidence just to make sure that we are good, we are familiar with our advanced information. And I will also be providing you my feedback. Once you are done with your mock exam, then you have to submit your mock exams to me, and then I will be reviewing your mock exam in light of examiner's key. Then we will discuss mock exam of each and individual student, what you have done right, what you have done wrong, how you should structure your sentence, how you have to modify, what you need to write and what you should not write, how you have to manage out your time as well. So I'm going to provide feedback on all of you students who are going to study case study with us. And finally, exam file. That is one of the most important thing for your advanced level exam. Exam file will contain a lot of information, but what should be the structure of your exam file? So what you should carry in your exam file for 2021 advanced information. So what should be your point for exam file? Because exam file can make you a pass as well. Because advanced information is approximately 40 to 50 pages. So if you need to find out, if you need to highlight some of the information, so what you have to do, definitely you cannot read out 40 to 50 pages. So there should be some sort of smart strategy. So we are going to build up, we are going to discuss in our exam file basically. So I will also share the format of exam file, and I will also help you people just we use a very good exam file as well. And I will also share my exam file too with you people. Now let's discuss some of the brief results, and these are the results for our previous exams of ICW. It involves a corporate reporting, it involves strategic business management, and it also involves our some of the case studies as well. Because it's not possible to highlight or list down all of our results, that's why we have just incorporated some of the results as well basically. So this was all about my side, and I hope that I have covered all of the contents that we discussed at start. Like we have to discuss about the structure of case study, its exam structure, what do you mean by case study, advanced information, exam pattern, how we are going to study, what are the common problems of students. So all of these points have been discussed by me. I hope you have enjoyed this orientation session. Now what I will be doing, I will be allowing you people to ask questions with me, and then we will be having a question and answer session as well. Thank you. See you tomorrow. Have a good day.